Hey students, back for another lesson. Uh, this lesson corresponds to, it's kind of a weird one. We're giving you a little bit of extra practice for Unit 1 before we do the review and before we take the test. So this is actually for the August the 27th lesson. So make sure that that matches up with what you're doing. It should be a Thursday. And this should be your bell work. So we're going to go over this bell work first. So I'm just going to erase that date again. So again, 8/27/2020. And here we go. This first one, it wants us to list 5 multiples and then circle the LCM. So we're going to list 5. So we're going to go 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then we're going to go 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we're looking for where they overlap first. So we can see 8, no 8 up there, 12, no 12, 16. Oh, I see a 20. So we're going to go right here with 20. So that is the least common multiple. It is 20, LCM. All right, so it wants on this one, and I haven't talked a whole lot about rounding yet this year, so I'm going to actually go over number 2 with you because I've seen a lot of students struggling with that. So on this one, it wants us to round to the nearest, and the way that we say this is 10th, 100th, and 1000th. So if I'm rounding to the 10th, it's this place value. This number right here tells me if it goes up or down. And if you remember from rounding, it's going to stay the same because if it's 5 or above, it changes the number up. If it's 4 to 0, it stays the same. So this number would round to 2 6/10. So now we are going to look at the 100th place value, which is this number. And then it wants us to round to that. So this number right here, the 8, tells that number either to stay the same or go up. It's going to go up. So it's going to be 2.65. And we're going to round to the nearest thousandth next. So we're going to pick out the number that's in the thousandth. So that's 10th, hundredths, thousandths. This is the thousandths place. And this 7 right here tells me either to stay the same or go up. It's above 5, so it tells that 8, it's going to bump up 1. So 2 649 thousandths is the answer there. So moving on to number 3, I don't know why my numbers are not staying. I better erase them. There they go. So now I'm going to move on. Find each product. We're going to be multiplying here. Now, you can either multiply and then simplify, or you can do some simplifying before you move on. I actually prefer to cross simplify here. I know that 2 and 8 have common factor, 2. So I'm going to go 2 goes into 2 once. It goes into 8 4 times. I'm going to get 1/20. Now, what would have happened if I had not done that? If I would have just said, okay, I'm going to multiply. So I would have got 2/40. Well, right here, we can see that I can simplify that because there are numbers that go into 2 and 40. 2 does, so 1/20. You could have done that also, but you can see that I simplified by looking at those common factors there. No, now I would like you to give this one a try on your own. Okay, so there isn't any practice, and we're just going to go right into your assignment. This is extra practice. Your assignment is extra practice to get ready for the test. So on this page, we're going to be talking about greatest common factor and lowest common multiple. So the first one here, I'm going to just make this a little smaller because so I can have more room here. So I'm going to just scoot it over here, and we're going to look at number 1 here. So number 1 says find the greatest common factor of 16 and 20. So I'm going to go, okay, I use cake method to do, well, that looks like a 6, 16 and 20 to do greatest common factor. Now, what factor is going to 16 and 20? Well, I can say 2, that goes 8, that goes 10. And And I can also see that 2 goes again, so it becomes 4 and 5. And we know that we're done because there are no common factors of 4 and 5. Take the frosting. 2 times 2 is 4. So my greatest common factor is 4. So now let's take a look at this paper right here. And we're going to, if you read the instructions, it says, you are being chased by zombies, and the only way to escape is lead the zombie through the maze. Back to the graveyard. Solve the greatest common factor and lowest common multiple problems to find your way. The first answer is in the top row, and then you have to follow the rest in the same order as the top row, and follow the rest in the same order as the problems. So we're going to start right here. So we got 4 as our answer. So I'm just going to shade that guy in. Okay. Let's move on to the second one and see what happens. Now, I made the mistake of thinking, oh, I can go across this way. No, there's 1. Here's 2. We have to do this one next to find out the next part of the puzzle. So the next one, find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 8. Okay, so we have a method of using lists to find lowest common multiple. So again, I'm just going to draw a line there. I'm going to do my multiples. So I got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. We'll stop right there and see if we have to go any further. 8, 16, 3 times 8 is 24. Oh, you know what? I can already see that there's the overlap. There's where they overlap, 24. So I am now going to look at my other paper, and I am going to fill in 24. Let's keep going and see what happens. So we're going to go down to number 3, and it wants us to find the greatest common factor of 24 and 36. Well, you know, I'm getting better at this greatest common factor thing, so I can see that 2 goes into it, but, you know, I can also see other numbers go into it, bigger numbers. So I'm going to go right to 6. 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 times 6 is 36. And then I can take a 2 out, and there's 2 and 3, and I know I'm done because no numbers go into 2 and 3. Birthday candles for 1s, because 1s go into 2 and 3. Now, 2 times 6 is, that's right, 12. So I'm going to come down here, go 12. All right, let's go on to number 4. Number 4 says, okay, moving on to the next one, we are going to find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 9. So I am going to go 6, 9, well, I've got 12, 18, 24, 30. Let's stop right there and see if we have to do any more. The next one, 18. Oh, look at that. I already have overlap, 18. So we know our next one is 18, so it goes down. Oh, I did blue. I should have done green. 18, right there. So you can see that this is going to lead you through and then you will end at, this graveyard somehow. I don't know if it's going to be 2, 36, 63, or 3 that you end with, but you're going to go through here and you're going to figure out how to get through this maze. So that's how you do that first side. Now, there is another side. So you're looking at 2 different papers here, and we made it so one side is kind of where the problems are, and the other one is where you kind of answer at. So look at this next one. On this one, we are looking at order of operations. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at number 1. And remember, we're using Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. So on this first one, you can see that we have to multiply first. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at 14 times 8. And that gives us 112. So that's gone. Then we're going to bring down the plus 6. So that gives us 118. So now we are looking at this cow. I'll shrink this guy up a little bit so we can see if we can find 118 anywhere on here. Now, what if you did this and you couldn't find your number? Well, you probably did it wrong. It says on that first paper that 118 is brown. So we need to find, oh, there's 118. So it looks like this whole fence, everything's going to be brown on that fence. So I'm going to use my little shortcut tool here, and let's see if we can do this. Let's get rid of red and see if I have a brown. Oh, that's orange. Okay, now we got brown. So here we go. I'm going to go brown, brown, brown. This whole fence is brown. And probably all these little pieces too, because I don't see any other numbers associated with them. So we'll just get those filled in really quick. Oh, hit the wrong thing. I may not even try. Oh, not there. There. There, there, there. There and there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is number 2, and it says 17 minus 12 divided by 3. Now, if you remember order of operations, we are going to multiply or divide before we add and subtract. So we know that we're doing this operation first. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. We're going to bring down the 17 minus. So 17 minus 4 is 13. And we know it's orange. So I'm going to get my, find 13, and we're going to make it orange. There it is. So now we're starting to see that this picture's coming together. So I think this is fairly simple. I think that, and one note of caution here, there are some duplicate numbers that you have to count it twice, if I'm not mistaken. So if you see, like right here, you can see that there's 104 here and 104 here. So that would be the same color. So you kind of have to look for duplicates occasionally. So this is your assignment, guys. Both of the zombie page and the cow page. So give that a shot. If you have problems, ask your teacher. Until next time.